This is a Music Therapy Chronicles podcast episode with your host, Tricia Caiati. You're listening to the Music Therapy Chronicles, a podcast about music therapy from a variety of perspectives. Our ambition is to inspire and connect listeners through meaningful conversations, just like a music therapy conference you can listen to anywhere. My name is Tricia Caiati, and I am a board-certified music therapist from the New England region. If you like what you hear, join our group on Facebook and share your own insights and thoughts about the episodes. You can also connect with us on social media and online at Music Therapy Chronicles. Welcome back to the Music Therapy Chronicles podcast. You may hear some extra toe tappies from my dog Piper today. She's a little extra clingy, but that's okay. I appreciate her presence. Anyway, welcome back to the Music Therapy Chronicles, or welcome. We have some new friends around here. I was fortunate enough to be part of a giveaway with Dynamic Links and some other amazing creators the week before Christmas. And so we have lots of new friends on social media, and hopefully some of you have migrated from there to here. Welcome to the show, to the Music Therapy Chronicles. Quite a time to join us, because in an effort to do things differently this year, this episode is going to be a little different. Maybe it won't feel different to you, but it feels different to me because I don't entirely know where we're going. I don't know where this episode's going, or where the month's going, or where the year's going, and I'm embracing that for probably the first time in my life. So to try and give you a feel for what's going on in my head, I guess, so that you can follow along. My themes for the year, every year I choose a theme. This year I happened to choose two, and they are joy and ease. If you're an original listener to the podcast, then you heard me talk about choosing words for the year or themes for the year with Rachel Rambach, like single-digit episodes. I'll link that for anyone who wants to hear it. And I don't remember my word from that year. It'd be cool to look back and see. But this year, joy and ease. And I'm going to take you on a little bit of a story time, I guess, where this has come out of. And it's funny how January 1st both feels like a whole new book, like everything is starting from scratch and new and completely shifting right in that moment. And then you look back and realize all the small shifts and subtle changes that happened along the way. I digress. My word for 2021, so the last year, was build. And I don't know if you get a visual with the word build, but I certainly do. And it's, starting with maybe some building blocks, or starting from nothing, or getting bigger and better and grander and overcoming challenges. And I did a lot of that last year. I continued to produce this podcast. Hey guys, it's me, it's Tricia. It's only me here behind the scenes doing all the things, scheduling and holding interviews, editing, social media. It's just me, a team of one. So I continued to do that. I launched the Music Therapy Podcast Collective with Kate, and together with some other amazing podcasters, we released 8 pod courses for a total of 41 CMT credits, which is a lot to do in a year. I also had some very tumultuous career things going on, as we all have, especially in the past 2 years, and stuff in personal life that's always happening, right? Life never stops. And so my word for last year was build, and I got to the end of the year and felt like I I didn't know what I was looking at. I was like, what have I even built? What have I accomplished? And, that's when I kind of came up with the list I just recited to you, and I'm really proud of doing all those things. But at the end of the year, I have never in my life wanted so much to just stop. Just stop everything, pause everything. And I don't know if that's pandemic hangover, just hardcore hitting me now. I don't know if it's a result of just everything I was trying to do last year. I don't know. I totally forgot to even mention that I launched the self-care community and did a bunch of other stuff behind the scenes for Music Therapy Chronicles. But yeah, there was a lot going on, whether you saw it or not. And so at the beginning of this year, thinking of my themes, I just want to ride that wave. Rest. I want to rest. That isn't the word I've chosen to go with. I chose to go with joy initially. And I'm going to take a little side tangent story here. And I hope you can follow me. Last year, 2021, was the first time in ages that I was able to keep up a reading habit. And it wasn't something that I was consciously doing. It wasn't something that I had super committed to. My reading goals were the same as they had been for many years prior. And I've been the type of person who was really heavy into reading, and then I would fall off and it would be hard to pick it back up. And I've gone back and forth. And so two big things changed last year that enabled me to maintain this reading habit. And the first one is I started reading physical books again. And yeah, that's something I hadn't done forever. I love a Kindle or an audiobook, just in general as the experience, but I also like not having to have physical things in my space, not having to have physical books. But yeah, last year I started just picking up physical books, and I found that I was reading more and I was enjoying it more. And that is part of where this joy stemmed from. The other thing I did differently about this reading habit was I started picking up fiction books again. And over the years, I've gone back to Harry Potter many times. I like to listen to the audiobook in the car between sessions, to just kind of let my mind refresh and to give me a little bit of creative energy. And yeah, so last year I was reading fiction, and in the past I might have done that in a judgmental way, and last year I just let myself enjoy it. And I found that I was looking forward to reading every day, and this is part of where this joy came from. In the past, I may have looked forward to like a Netflix show or YouTube something, or but it wasn't the same as looking forward to reading my book every day, and how much joy that was bringing me. And so coming into 2022, I decided, I don't necessarily want to set myself a higher reading goal. But I do want to infuse more of this joy into my life. So regardless of what you're focusing on this year, I hope that you're able to look back on the past year or 2 or 5 and pinpoint something that expectedly or unexpectedly brought you joy. And if you can, find out why, so you can distill that down and fuse it into your life even more. And I hope that you are able to find ways to bring that joy into your life extra this year, 2022. Because we all need it, individually and collectively, to find our joy, to find what brings us joy. And it could be something as simple as getting back into reading fiction. So here's where ease came into play. As I pushed through 2021, my build year, right? I found so many moments when I wanted to sit and read my book. I wanted to sit in that joy and experience it. And I didn't, because I was building and I had so many things to do and so many things I put on my to-do list. And I found that in my mind, there were certain hours of the day that I needed to be working, and somehow putting in that work time allowed me to earn the joy of reading my book at the end of the day. And gosh, I am so fortunate to live a life where that is not true, except for in my head. And I can choose to allow myself to not pick up all that extra work, to not build all these things and push so far ahead and strive and try. And I can let there be ease. I can let things be the way they are and enjoy my time and let myself feel at ease, which is something, again, I found when I was reading my book. I could sit there and let myself be at ease. So yeah, I think part of the reason I chose build for 2021 is because, like many of us coming off of 2020, I wanted to gain some sense of control and stability and structure in my life. And life is what it is right now. And I'm fortunate to have all those things, not in the way I thought I needed them or in the way I wanted them to be, but I am, safe and supported and structured and can choose to focus on joy and ease this year. And I am so fortunate to do that. So part of the reason I'm telling you this is because maybe you need to hear this, like I needed to hear it. I keep thinking back to a conversation I had with Haley Francis Can, and I'm not sure if it was a podcast episode or just us talking or when she said this, but she was talking about how when the pandemic hit, she leaned harder into work. She worked more and worked harder and found that like being a workaholic was her coping mechanism. And at the time I heard her said that, I heard her say that, and it resonated with me. And I was like, yes, I set firm boundaries. I am not a workaholic. I am, in my imagination, had that under control. And it's interesting how every year, right, we learn these lessons a little deeper. And so this year, I plan to truly take that lesson to heart, because the truth is, for the past 2 years, I have been a workaholic and just found things to busy myself and run around in circles. And I'm grateful for all the experiences I've had and things I've been able to do. And I did a lot of building last year, and I'm proud of that. But I'm ready to see what happens when I kind of let go of the accelerator of my life, right? We're still steering, we still have some idea of the path of the journey we're on, but my foot is not on the accelerator. Like we're on cruise control at a nice, slow, steady pace, and we're embracing joy and ease. And no matter what your themes are this year, I hope that you are able to have some joy and ease in your life. Even if you're having a build year, they can coexist. It just depends on what you're focusing on, I guess. So the other reason I'm telling you all this is because until Saturday, I will be opening the self-care community one more time, just for like a quick flash sale, for anyone who wants to join us in 2022. I don't know about you, but I, like, right up till December 31st, was still in that build year and wasn't ready for this shift and didn't feel it. And now I do. Now I'm looking at 2022 with new eyes and a fresh perspective. And so if you are like me and you're ready to make a change, to do something different, to join us in the self-care community, we'd love to have you. It's a supportive, intimate, it's a small group. Everyone is so kind and open, and I am grateful every month for our conversations. We do self-care experiences individually and together. Each month has a different wellness theme that we focus on. I give out resources and exercises, and then we get together for our community call and kind of workshop it together. And I am so grateful to have 3 amazing guest presenters in the community this year. The first one will be in April, and that'll be a financial wellness workshop with Lindsay Bryan Podvin, who you can hear on the podcast. I will link her episode. Financial wellness, I think, is something that we as humans, as music therapists, as helping professionals, we can create our own problems in so many ways. There's so much to learn. The dialogue, I think, can be so much more open. So I'm really excited to be able to put on this workshop with Lindsay and to learn from her and to learn alongside the community members. We're also having a yoga workshop with Alyssa from Dynamic Links and a Reiki workshop with Diva from Harmonia Music Therapy, and those are later in the year. So I'll tell you more about those later. But if you're ready to do something differently this year, if you're ready to prioritize your self-care, to be in a supportive community, and not have to do everything alone, not feel like self-care is all on you, then please consider joining us in the self-care community. I'd love to have you there and to connect more with you. Every person who's joined the community has said, ironically, said to me kind of what I am saying today, where they're ready to take a step back. They're ready to prioritize themselves. They are learning how to rest and how to slow down and to do things differently. And this was a big step for them in order to prioritize that, to show themselves that they are taking the initiative to make this change in their life. And this is the way they're going to do it. And they're going to do it alongside some amazing, badass other people. Specifically all MTs right now, but all are welcome. All are welcome. So yeah, the link to that will be in the show notes if you want to join us there as well. The other reason I'm telling you all this is because in my attempt to pursue joy and ease this year, you may see some changes on the podcast. And like I said at the very beginning, I don't know what they're going to be. Part of this is not making myself plan everything out, not having to know what's going to happen next or what I'm going to do, or creating busy work for myself, or pushing myself to do what I've always done because I've always done it, even though it doesn't feel joyful and easeful anymore. So things are going to shift a little bit. I can't entirely say what those shifts will be. Maybe you won't even notice them on your end. I don't know. But that's part of what's going on around here. When you own your own business and, you can make your own hours, right? But that I have been misusing that privilege for a long time. Been making myself more hours and more work and not seeing the results I want and not feeling in my heart the way I want to feel about it. And so yeah, I'm ready to approach things differently and see what happens and see how it feels. When I was driving in the car the other day, I was thinking about, joy and ease and what's that going to look like? And in 6 months, it's probably going to look differently than it looks now. And then I started thinking about my build year and the year before that. And I've been doing this podcast for almost 3 years now and couldn't have imagined where it would take me, but also envisioned so much more, right? We can all sometimes, or maybe it's just me, have a really big imagination. And I started thinking, oh no, what if I had started sooner? 2 years from now, I'll wish I had started sooner than I did right now. So I can't take this year to slow down. I need to keep pushing. I need to do more. I need to do X, Y, and Z because down the road, I'll be grateful that I did it and blah, blah, blah. And all these mindsets that I've really played into in the past, right? With build. Not that I have any shame around that. Just that was part of it. It was like, hey, start now, push hard so that later you can relax. Like you have to earn the rest. You have to earn the relaxation. And so driving in the car, having those thoughts, I had to stop myself and say, that's not going to be my reality this year. I'm going to see what happens when I take a step back from charging ahead so hard, when I kind of just let myself glide, let myself roll, let myself enjoy the moment. And I am grateful to be, doing Music Therapy Chronicles and not rely on it in such a way that taking some time away or being a little inconsistent isn't detrimental to my well-being or to my life. I'm grateful for that, as much as it would be awesome to do this podcast part-time or full-time. I don't. I do this on the side of the side of the side, and it's taken up more and more of my time and space over the past few years, and I'm ready to take some of that back. And it's only me who has allowed it to run rampant, right? So it's time for me to reel it back in. Yeah. So I guess I'll go on a little other side tangent for anyone who's new around here, whether you're new this week or new last year. I don't know if you know me. Welcome. Welcome again. This is an interesting episode to start on if this is your first Music Therapy Chronicles episode. But I hope you're enjoying it. My name's Tricia. I'm a music therapist in New England. I have a senior dog who I adopted at 13. She's now 17. I have 2 turtles. I love being outside and hiking. I recently got back into reading. I like crafting and working with my hands, and learning is probably one of my biggest loves in life. And a big part of why I started this podcast, so that I could learn, so that I could hear different people's perspectives and what they're passionate about and what they're doing, and ask the questions I wanted to ask and learn. And I'm so grateful that along the way, over these past 3 years, I've been able to do that with this podcast. And thank you for being here, whether you've been here since day one or if this is your first day. I hope that you have learned from this show. I hope you continue to learn and enjoy whatever comes out, whether it be podcast episodes or social media content or joining the community or our pod courses, which are ways to get CMTEs for listening to the podcast. There's a lot going on over here, and thank you for being here with me. All right. In the spirit of joy and ease, I'm going to wrap up here for today. Thank you for listening to me, to my ramblings and musings. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode. I know there is so much content out there to begin with, and there's so many awesome podcasts. So thank you for listening to this one. If you enjoyed the show, leaving a rating and review is so helpful in making this podcast more visible, and truthfully, it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I love reading your reviews and hearing your thoughts. follow on social media. We're at Music Therapy Chronicles on all the platforms, and screenshot whatever episode you listen to and tag me at Music Therapy Chronicles. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what stuck out to you in an episode or what you're thinking. I envision there being more dialogue between you, the listeners, and me and the guests. And right now, social media is the best place I know how to do that. So for real, screenshot what you're listening to and tag me. Let me know what you're thinking. I would love to hear it. You can also hop on the newsletter at musictherapychronicles.com. I'm the type of person who does not love getting newsletters in my inbox every day. They overwhelm me, even though the people producing them have amazing insights and products and thoughts and information. It still overwhelms me to get tons of newsletters. So I send out the Music Therapy Chronicles newsletter once a month, unless there's something exciting going on, like the flash sale right now. And in that monthly newsletter, there's just sneak peeks of what's coming up. There's discount codes to things going on, all that kind of stuff. You can also check out our pod courses at mtpodcastcollective.com. That's the Music Therapy Podcast Collective, where, like I said, we have 8 amazing pod courses available for you, and a total of 41 CMTE credits. So yeah, that's a pretty cool resource for you to check out as well. Thank you so much, dear listener, for being here, for listening to the show, and I will see you in the next one.